Have you ever felt trapped inside your own mind? Like no matter what you do, the thoughts just keep racing, spinning out of control, leaving you restless, anxious, and exhausted. Maybe it's the small worries that pile up, or maybe it's the big, terrifying what-ifs that keep you awake at night. The truth is, you are not alone. Everyone struggles with these moments. Every person you see smiling, every person who seems confident, has faced nights when their mind felt like a storm with no calm in sight. But here's the secret that most people don't realize. Peace of mind is not something you have to chase outside. It is not hidden in the perfect job, the perfect relationship, or the perfect life. It is already inside you, quietly waiting for you to uncover it. And today, by the time you reach the end of this video, you will discover how to tap into that calm, how to release the weight of worry, and how to begin walking the path toward true inner peace. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you replayed the same thought over and over? How many times have you worried about something that, in the end, never even happened? Anxiety does not just take your calm. It steals your energy, your focus, and your joy. It whispers lies in your ear, convincing you that you are weak, that you are unprepared, that the future is dangerous. And the more you listen, the louder it becomes. But here is the truth. The mind is not your enemy. It is your most powerful tool. It has the ability to destroy your peace, yes, but it also has the ability to create a sanctuary inside yourself where nothing can disturb you. Imagine being able to sit in the middle of chaos and feel calm, no matter what is happening around you. Imagine waking up each morning without the weight of fear pressing down on your chest. This is not a fantasy. This is a reality you can create, starting right now. The journey to peace of mind does not start with meditation or reading hundreds of self-help books. It starts with a single understanding. Anxiety and worry are signals, not your identity. They are messages from your mind telling you that it is trying to protect you. But protection gone too far becomes chains. And the first step in breaking these chains is awareness. Recognize the thought. Notice the worry. Name it for what it is. Do not fight it. Do not run from it. Simply observe it. Human psychology tells us that the more we resist our feelings, the stronger they become. Acceptance, on the other hand, is a superpower. When you accept that worry is just a visitor in your mind, you stop feeding it energy. And when you stop feeding it energy, it begins to fade. Now imagine a life where worry no longer controls your decisions. Imagine making choices not out of fear, but out of clarity. Imagine stepping into each day with confidence, knowing that even when challenges appear, your mind will not betray you. This is not just motivation, it is transformation. Every great change begins with one small shift in thought, and that shift is possible for you today. By staying with this video until the end, you will learn not only the techniques to calm your mind, but also the mindset that will permanently change the way you think, feel, and live. By the end, you will feel a subtle shift inside you, a sense that calm is not far away, but already within reach. Consider this. Most people spend their entire lives chasing happiness outside of themselves, hoping that money, success, or approval will fill the emptiness. But the emptiness never goes away, because peace is not something you earn. It is something you cultivate. It grows from understanding your own mind, from practicing patience with yourself, and from creating a mental space where fear and doubt cannot thrive. Psychology shows that even a few minutes of intentional calm each day rewires your brain. It trains your mind to notice the positive, to release the negative, and to focus on what truly matters. That means you do not need a perfect life to feel calm. You only need a mind trained to be your ally rather than your enemy. And here is the promise. If you watch this video all the way through, you will leave with tools and insights that are not just temporary. You will discover the key to stepping off the treadmill of constant worry, to quieting the storm inside, and to finally experiencing peace that is deep, steady, and lasting. This is not another video that makes you feel good for 5 minutes and then disappears. This is a guide that, if applied, can reshape your inner world forever. But it begins with one choice: the choice to listen, to absorb, and to take control of your mind, starting today. So, take a deep breath and acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge the courage it takes to face your mind, to confront your worries, and to say, "Enough. I deserve peace." Your journey does not start tomorrow. It does not start when the world is perfect. It starts here. It starts now. And the moment you realize that peace is not somewhere outside but already within, everything begins to change. Anxiety may still visit, worries may still appear, but they will no longer have power over you. You will learn how to see them, understand them, and let them pass, like clouds in a clear blue sky. And by the end of this video, you will not just know this, you will feel it. The mind is a powerful place, and today you are about to reclaim it. You are about to step into a space where peace is possible, where calm is natural, and where your life can finally feel lighter, freer, and brighter. Stay with this video because the tools, insights, and wisdom ahead are designed to guide you gently, step by step, to a place where anxiety loses its grip and your mind becomes your sanctuary. By the end, you will not just hope for peace, you will begin to feel it. And once that feeling begins, nothing can take it away. You are carrying more than you realize. The constant tension in your shoulders, the tightness in your chest, the restless energy in your mind, they are all signs of a life weighed down by invisible burdens. And it is exhausting. Sometimes it feels like no matter how hard you try, the worries multiply, and the calm you crave drifts further away. But here's the truth. These struggles are not a reflection of weakness. They are a reflection of being alive in a world that never stops moving, thinking, or demanding. Life constantly presents challenges, uncertainties, and unexpected turns. It is normal to feel overwhelmed. The real challenge is learning how to meet these challenges without letting them steal your inner peace. Most people spend their energy resisting what is happening. They fight reality. They try to force things to be different. But the more resistance there is, the more tension builds inside. Resistance is like pushing against the current of a river. The harder you push, the more exhausted you become, and the further you drift from calm. The secret to peace is not in resisting life. It is in embracing it, just as it is, without judgment. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It does not mean giving up. It means seeing things clearly, understanding your emotions, and responding from a place of calm, not panic. When you start accepting your current reality, even in small ways, you create a space inside your mind where anxiety cannot dominate. Think about your thoughts as clouds in the sky. Some are dark and stormy, some are light and fleeting. You cannot stop clouds from appearing, but you can decide whether to let them obscure the sun. Worries are the storm clouds. They appear, but they do not have to control the sky of your mind. By noticing them without attaching to them, by observing without reacting, you begin to reclaim your mental space. Psychology calls this mindful awareness. It is a simple concept with profound effects. When you watch your thoughts instead of getting caught in them, they lose their power. And as their power fades, a sense of calm naturally grows, like sunlight breaking through the clouds. Another reason anxiety persists is because of the stories we tell ourselves. Your mind is always narrating, predicting problems, imagining failure, and exaggerating risks. These stories feel real, and that is why they create fear. But stories are not truth. They are interpretations. They are optional. You can choose which narratives to believe and which to question. Each time a worry arises, pause and ask, is this true? Or is this just a possibility my mind is exaggerating? This simple question shifts your perspective. It interrupts the automatic cycle of fear and gives you the chance to respond consciously, rather than react unconsciously. The mind learns quickly when it is challenged gently but consistently. Over time, the habit of questioning anxious thoughts becomes a habit of calm. It is also important to remember that your emotions are not permanent. Anxiety, fear, and stress are temporary states. They are like waves. They rise, peak, and eventually fall. But when you resist them, when you cling to them, the waves feel endless. When you let them pass, they fade naturally. You cannot stop every wave, but you can learn to ride them with grace. This is a lesson deeply rooted in human psychology. The mind responds best not to avoidance, but to awareness and gentle guidance. The more you practice letting emotions exist without letting them control you, the more your nervous system learns that it is safe. And when your nervous system feels safe, your mind relaxes, your heart slows, and the pressure of worry diminishes. A key factor in releasing anxiety is understanding what truly matters and what does not. Often, your mind focuses on problems that are either out of your control or will not matter a week, a month, or a year from now. This is a natural human tendency, but it is also a choice. You can train your attention to focus on what you can influence, on what will help you grow, and on what brings meaning. Every moment you spend worrying about what cannot be changed is a moment stolen from your peace. When you consciously redirect your thoughts toward what matters, the weight of anxiety begins to lift. This is not a quick fix, it is a practice. But even small, consistent steps create measurable change in your inner world. It is also vital to recognize the power of self-compassion. Anxiety often grows because we are harsh with ourselves. We criticize, judge, and blame ourselves for feeling weak or overthinking. But self-criticism only fuels the fire. Compassion does the opposite. When you treat yourself with kindness, when you speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend, anxiety loses its grip. Self-compassion rewires your emotional responses. Your mind learns that it is safe, your thoughts are tolerated, and mistakes are acceptable. When you cultivate this internal kindness, your worries feel smaller, your heart feels lighter, and your mind begins to breathe again. Finally, remember this. Achieving peace of mind is not about eliminating all problems or fears. That is impossible. Life is full of uncertainties. The goal is to cultivate a mind that remains steady, a heart that remains gentle, and a spirit that remains unshaken, even when challenges arise. True calm does not mean a life without storms. It means developing the ability to stay centered, to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, and to choose inner peace over temporary panic. This ability, once learned, changes everything. Decisions become clearer, relationships become calmer, and life itself feels less like a struggle and more like a journey you are capable of navigating with confidence. So as you continue this journey, take a moment to honor yourself. Acknowledge the courage it takes to face your own mind, to confront your worries, and to keep moving forward, even when fear is loud. Each step toward awareness, each small act of acceptance, each decision to focus on what matters, is a victory. Over time, these small victories accumulate into profound transformation. Your mind, once a place of chaos, can become a sanctuary. Your heart, once heavy, can feel light. Your life, once dominated by worry, can be filled with calm, clarity, and hope. And this transformation begins with understanding, awareness, and the willingness to take the first conscious steps toward inner peace. There is a truth that most people overlook. Peace of mind is not found in doing more, achieving more, or solving every problem. It is found in slowing down. In a world that moves at an unforgiving pace, the act of slowing down feels almost revolutionary. Yet the mind is designed to notice speed, activity, and urgency. It thrives on constant stimulation, endless tasks, and future worries. That is why anxiety feels so natural. It is the mind responding to a fast-moving world. But you have the power to step out of this constant motion, to pause, and to reclaim a space where your thoughts no longer run you. In these quiet moments, you begin to see clearly, think deeply, and feel genuinely calm. Many people misunderstand what it means to slow down. They think it requires stopping everything in life, turning off responsibilities, or escaping reality. It does not. Slowing down is an internal practice, a conscious choice to create space within your mind even as life continues around you. It is in the pauses between your actions, the quiet moments before reacting, and the awareness that what you think does not always demand immediate attention. This mental space is where clarity grows. It is where the mind untangles from endless loops of worry. Psychology shows that the brain performs better when it is given breathing room. Thoughts settle, stress decreases, and creative solutions emerge. Slowing down is not a luxury. It is a necessity for lasting peace. Another key to calming your mind is understanding the difference between problems and solutions. The mind often confuses worry with action. It convinces you that thinking, overthinking, or replaying scenarios endlessly is helpful. But in reality, worry without action is energy wasted. True calm comes from directing mental energy toward what can be changed and letting go of what cannot. This does not mean ignoring challenges. It means responding wisely rather than reacting impulsively. By identifying what you can influence, you shift from feeling helpless to feeling empowered. And even when circumstances are beyond your control, the way you choose to respond shapes your emotional state more than the situation itself. Fear is another constant companion that keeps the mind restless. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, they all feed anxiety. But fear is a signal, not a sentence. It tells you that something matters, that you are alive, and that growth is possible. The key is to treat fear as information, not as an obstacle. Observe it, understand it, and then act consciously. Each time you face fear without letting it dictate your choices, the mind learns a powerful lesson. Courage and calm are stronger than panic. And with each small act of bravery, your inner landscape shifts. Anxiety loses its authority, and confidence begins to take root. It is also crucial to recognize the role of self-perception in peace of mind. The way you see yourself affects every thought and emotion you experience. People who carry harsh judgments against themselves often amplify anxiety. Every criticism, comparison, or doubt fuels worry. But when you consciously shift toward acceptance of who you are, imperfections and all, the mind begins to relax. Acceptance does not mean complacency. It does not prevent growth or improvement. It simply means giving yourself permission to exist without constant internal attack. A kind mind creates fertile ground for calm, and once the mind feels safe, anxiety cannot dominate its space. One practice that accelerates this inner calm is intentional breathing. The body and mind are inseparable. Tension in one creates tension in the other. When anxiety rises, the heart beats faster, muscles tighten, and thoughts race. By slowing your breath, by focusing on each inhale and exhale, you send a signal to your nervous system that you are safe. Breathing is not just a physical act, it is a tool for psychological transformation. Each controlled breath lowers stress hormones, steadies the mind, and brings you back to the present. The simplest techniques often have the deepest impact, and breathing is the foundation of calm that you can access anytime, anywhere. Equally important is the habit of observing thoughts without judgment. The mind constantly produces ideas, fears, and what-ifs. Most people react immediately, believing these thoughts define reality. But thoughts are not facts. They are mental events that pass through consciousness. By watching them come and go, like leaves floating on a stream, you develop mental resilience. You begin to realize that even the most troubling thoughts are temporary, and your true self, the observer of these thoughts, is untouchable. This awareness is powerful. It creates a sense of detachment that does not distance you from life, but allows you to engage with it more peacefully. Another factor that sustains long-term peace is prioritization of energy. Worry often thrives when attention is scattered, when mental energy is spent on trivial matters, or when you try to control everything at once. Focusing on what matters most, while letting go of the rest, creates balance. The mind can then invest its power in meaningful actions instead of futile rumination. Small, consistent choices build momentum. Over time, this practice forms a life where calm is the natural default, not a temporary escape. Clarity replaces confusion, and stillness replaces chaos. Finally, understand that peace is cultivated through repeated, intentional effort. It is not a one-time achievement. It is a journey of awareness, choice, and practice. Every mindful moment, every conscious decision to pause, every act of self-compassion and breath control strengthens the neural pathways that support calm. Life will continue to present challenges, but you will meet them with growing confidence. Anxiety will no longer be the authority. Worries will no longer dominate your mind. You will develop an inner sanctuary where clarity, balance, and calm are accessible at any moment. So, as this part of the journey unfolds, take a moment to honor your progress. Recognize the effort it takes to slow down, to observe, and to choose peace over panic. Each act of awareness is a step toward mastery over your mind. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Calm is not a gift from the outside. It is the result of intentional action, understanding, and patience with yourself. By embracing these principles, you are shaping a mind that is resilient, focused, and free from the chains of worry. And as the journey continues, each new insight will bring you closer to the life you desire. A life where peace is not fleeting, but permanent, where anxiety no longer dictates your decisions, and where the sanctuary of your own mind becomes a place of refuge, strength, and clarity. The mind often feels like a battlefield, with thoughts clashing, doubts multiplying, and tension constantly rising. But what if you could step off that battlefield? What if you could watch your thoughts pass by without being dragged into every argument, every fear, every what-if scenario? This is the essence of mental clarity. Clarity is not achieved by pushing harder or controlling more. It is achieved by observing more, understanding more, and responding with intention rather than instinct. The mind begins to settle when it is no longer at war with itself. Every moment spent in observation, in noticing without judgment, gradually transforms the mental landscape from chaos to calm. One reason anxiety thrives is because people underestimate the power of routine. When life is unpredictable, the mind fills the gaps with worry. But establishing consistent daily habits creates a sense of stability, a foundation that supports peace. Simple routines, repeated daily, act like anchors. They remind the mind that even when external circumstances are uncertain, there is order inside. This does not mean life will suddenly be free from challenges, but it does mean that your internal response becomes steadier. Consistency trains the brain to expect reliability from within, reducing the constant tension of the unknown. Another powerful factor is the ability to focus attention intentionally. The human brain is designed to notice threats. It is wired to exaggerate problems and magnify risks. While this helped our ancestors survive, it often backfires in modern life. Focusing on problems that may never occur creates anxiety. To counter this, practice directing your attention deliberately. Ask yourself, what matters right now? What requires my energy? When you train your mind to concentrate on what is useful, important, and meaningful, the unnecessary noise of worry diminishes. This mental discipline is not rigid or harsh. It is gentle guidance, teaching your thoughts where to go and where not to go. Self-talk is another critical piece of the puzzle. The words you say to yourself influence your emotions far more than you realize. Negative self-talk fuels fear, doubt, and tension. Positive, intentional self-talk nurtures confidence, calm, and resilience. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you deeply care about. Replace criticism with encouragement. Replace panic with reassurance. Over time, your inner voice becomes an ally instead of a tormentor. This simple yet profound shift rewires the brain, creating a natural state of ease that supports mental clarity and emotional stability. It is also essential to understand the role of perspective in reducing anxiety. Often, worry is a result of seeing problems as larger than they are, as permanent, or as catastrophic. By consciously stepping back and evaluating situations with objectivity, you shrink the power of those worries. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, or a year? Is this a true problem or just a possibility? This practice trains your mind to differentiate between real threats and imagined ones. Anxiety loses strength when perspective grows. It becomes easier to act decisively, calmly, and rationally. Connection with the body is another overlooked pathway to peace. Mental tension often manifests physically. The mind and body are deeply intertwined, and soothing the body can calm the mind. Gentle movement, stretching, or even a short walk can release the tension stored in muscles and trigger a sense of relaxation in the nervous system. These small acts signal safety to the brain, which reduces stress and lowers anxiety. By listening to the body, responding to its needs, and honoring its limits, you reinforce the mind-body connection that is essential for lasting calm. Forgiveness is another key to inner serenity. Holding on to anger, resentment, or past hurts fuels mental chaos. It keeps the mind engaged in battles that no longer serve you. Releasing these burdens is not about excusing wrongs. It is about freeing yourself from the weight of carrying them. Forgiveness is a tool for mental clarity. It creates space for positive thoughts, deeper understanding, and inner balance. When you forgive, even partially, the mind relaxes. Peace is allowed to grow where bitterness once took root. Gratitude also plays a vital role in transforming the mental state. When the mind focuses on what is missing, what is wrong, or what could go badly, anxiety multiplies. But when attention shifts to what is present, what is good, and what is meaningful, the brain responds with calm and satisfaction. This does not mean ignoring challenges. It means balancing awareness of difficulties with acknowledgement of positives. Even small acknowledgements, a warm meal, a kind word, a moment of quiet, remind the mind that life contains blessings alongside obstacles. Regular practice of gratitude strengthens the mind's ability to focus on what is beneficial, reducing the mental space available for worry. Finally, it is important to recognize that inner calm is a skill, not a gift. It is cultivated intentionally through repeated practice, thoughtful reflection, and conscious choices. Every moment you choose to pause instead of react, to observe instead of judge, and to redirect your focus instead of ruminate, you are exercising that skill. Life may continue to present challenges, surprises, and uncertainties, but your ability to remain centered strengthens with each practice. Anxiety no longer controls the mind. Instead, the mind learns to guide itself toward clarity, calm, and peace. As this understanding grows, begin to see your mind as a garden. Each thought is a seed. Worries are weeds. By noticing them, by deciding which seeds to water and which weeds to remove, you shape the landscape of your consciousness. Over time, a garden emerges filled with calm, clarity, and stability. The storms of life may blow through, but your internal garden remains resilient. Mental clarity, emotional balance, and inner peace are not accidental. They are the result of intentional cultivation, patient practice, and conscious choice. Each day, each decision, each moment of awareness contributes to a life where anxiety no longer dominates and calm becomes the natural state of being.